Hi YouTube friends, this is Patricia and I'm with the Dead Talkers. And as you can see, Miss Annalie is not here. She's playing hooky tonight. So I'm going to do the review by myself. I'm going to be reviewing Fear the Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 3, Ouroboros. And I think that's how you pronounce that. Of course, you guys know I'm a Fear the Walking Dead fan, so of course I believe that this was a very solid episode. I mean, obviously all episodes are gonna have their ups and downs, but this was a very solid episode. I really enjoyed it. It, I will say, is the better of the three thus far. You had the zombies that everybody wanted, the action, and I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I like my favorite characters, Strand, Nick. I think it's just Strand and Nick right now for me. Salazar's kind of fallen off for me. Well, I know the new girl, Alex. I'm starting to like her, and that takes us to the opening of the episode. They show Flight 462, the crash, well, right after the crash, where these survivors are trying to climb onto boats and things. Well, I guess they have the life rafts and debris and things like that. And you see Alex, who we remember from the little clips of 462, Flight 462. She was the young lady that seemed to have a lot of knowledge about how to kill walkers, and she understood about the danger of walkers. And I think she even killed a couple, I want to say, on the plane. So they showed her. She was in the water. She was trying to get into, well, first she was looking for Jake. And Jake, if you guys remember, is the boy that she disclosed that she took his mother's seat, I believe, somehow. So she was looking for him. So I think she had a sense of that she needed to take care of him and protect him because she took his mother's seat somehow. She feels that she has to now fill that role. But anyway, she finds him, and unfortunately he has a burnt up face. He's injured very badly, and more than likely it doesn't seem like he's probably going to survive. And she gets him onto the boat. There are, I think, a couple other guys survivors already on the boat. And on the life raft. It's a small little inflatable life raft. And they get on. Something happens to where one of them got off, got back on it, showed that he had a bite on his leg. One of the guys knocks him off the boat, knocks him in the head or something, and knocks him off the boat. It seems as though that they really understand about, the danger and protecting yourselves from walkers or infected people. Because I think they're calling the walkers the infected at this point. And I think maybe because they were on the plane and they know from their experience on the plane dealing with some of the infected that they're still in that mindset. If you're bitten or if you are, well, I don't know if they know that you become infected if you die. I don't remember something happened on the plane. That would have, I don't remember, it could have, but I don't remember if they gained that knowledge from being on the plane. But anyway, he bops him in the head, knocks him over, and at some point the same guy is trying to knock Jake out or get him off the boat, and Alex kills him and knocks him off the boat. So Alex she is definitely very acclimated into, into this world and dealing with humans as well as the infected, because she's right away, recognizing that there are some humans that you gotta just kill, and she's doing that. And so I'm kind of liking her. Well, definitely this episode, and I think I'm gonna like her further along also, if she keeps up the same mindset that she has now. Anywho, so that was like the opening of the episode, and then we see our group on the Abigail, and apparently something happened And the Abigail has some kind of malfunction. I forget technically what it is. Something is stuck in something, the filter. I know they had to get something out of the filter. And come to find out, there was a zombie or an infected person. Their arm was stuck in some hole or something. And it was clogging something up in Abigail. And I'm pretty sure that that zombie was the same man that was on the boat with Alex, that we last saw with Alex, making comments about Jake not being able to make it. So I think we can pretty much deduce what happened to him. And Alex is just squaring things away, it looks like. Which, again, I'm loving myself some Alex. But anyway, so Travis is taking care of that issue. Even though he really doesn't have any knowledge about it, he's reading. It looks like he has books out. And he's reading. Strand's kind of giving him a hard time. And they have a exchange. And Strand is being very condescending. It seems as though Strand was talking to whomever it is he was talking to last episode on that phone. Well, he was trying to. I don't think he ever connected. But he sounded very panicky, kind of, because he couldn't get in contact with them. I think that the person, or I'm going to predict that the person on the other side of that phone is maybe a loved one, someone he cares about. And that's why he, and that kind of set the tone for how he behaved, I think, this episode. Because he was in a desperate situation. He did not know the unknown. They cut off. He didn't know. What he knows is that he needs to get to that destination, and that's what he knows, and that's the only thing that he can see, I believe, right now, is just getting there, and which is really no different than anyone else protecting their own, their family. So I at first I did have some feelings about, I was feeling some type of way about Strand and how he was behaving, but when I look at it from the perspective of he's concerned about his loved one, well, I'm going to say someone he cares about, I don't know, loved one, whatever, but someone he cares about. Could be a child, a wife, sister, mother, it could be any variation of a family member, but it just seemed as though the way he was speaking and how he seemed panicked, that it was someone he cared about, and he just felt that he needed to get there and get there quickly, and that was why he was hassling Travis, I believe, and how he was speaking to everyone, and the decisions that he made this episode. I think, well, some of it is just consistently how his mindset is, but I think part of it was the fact that he was in a situation where he was desperate, and he was just trying to get to where he needs to get to, and so the ship is anchored, I believe, because of this mishap, and Alicia sees on land that there's some luggage from Flight 62, more than likely, and Alicia, Chris, and Nick, and Salazar go to look through the luggage to look for medicine, clothing, anything that they would need. They've been on the boat, I'm assuming, for a while, and they definitely are going to run out of resources. So they're going to go do a little trip on land to see if they can get some supplies. And Salazar was going because he needs medicine for Ophelia. They had a little interchange where he noticed that Ophelia's injury was looking infected, and she didn't have any more medication, and he forbade her to ask Madison because he doesn't want, it seems as though he doesn't want to owe anyone. He does not want to be obligated. He wants to be able to make decisions for his child without feeling obligated, I think, to anyone else. So he's going to try to keep that separation. So he doesn't want her asking for anything. That way he don't owe anyone. So he goes out with them, and of course they were supposed to stay together. Chris is there, and he wanders off, and he gets into a little bit of trouble. He has to kill a live human because they are in a bad way with regard to an injury. One of the flight, one of the people that were on the flight and he has to do it in a very brutal way where he bashes their head in with some type of piece of thing that he found, piece of the wreckage, and that is definitely he's gonna have to deal with that, and we'll probably see maybe next episode of future episodes him dealing with having to kill a human, and not just kill him, but kill him in a very brutal way. And so Salazar notices that Chris is not with him, so he goes looking for him. Meanwhile, Nick falls into this kind of whole ravine type situation where there's a walker, which is one of the most interesting ones that I've seen on The Walking Dead or Fear, where the walker is in, half his body is in the ground, and he has crabs look like is eating him. I don't know, the crabs eat walkers? I don't know. But there were crabs crawling all around, maybe eating him. And Chris falls in and he has a scuffle and he has to deal with that. And at some point another one falls in and he's got to deal with that. Nick is dealing with that situation, and Salazar goes after Chris because he notices that he's not there, runs across Alex. From a distance he thinks it's Chris running, and then we see that it is Alex, and behind her is a whole, not a full herd of walkers, but it's a pretty good amount of walkers, and she's just saying to Salazar, run, and then she takes off, and he stands there. He's just standing there and watching them walk up, and at some point he starts shooting, which I think is a waste of bullets because it was way too many, but he was doing that, and then eventually the walkers or the infected surrounds them, but they're killing. It's Alex, what is his name, Chris and Salazar and Alicia, and they are fighting them off. They are, I guess, getting acclimated to fighting walkers, and although they didn't have weapons per se, conventional, they had scraps of wreckage, pieces of wreckage that they used to fight them. And at some point, Nick shows up doused in blood, zombie blood, and guts and stuff, and of course it is like in The Walking Dead when they camouflage themselves, and I don't know, and it didn't show how that happened. I'm assuming that he just killed the walkers, and at some point the guts fell on him. I don't believe he knew to do that prior, or what that would do with regard to the camouflage effect. But he did notice that the walkers were not coming after him, and at some point when they got out of it, and I don't know, it seemed as though he was fascinated by it because they were running away, and he comes back and he's growling in front of the walkers' faces. And I don't know, was he fascinated by it or why he did that, just as a young-minded person, just, you can't get me, or, I'm standing right here. I don't know, whatever, but he did that. I don't know if he was thinking that he was invincible, and I hope that's not going to cause problems for him in the future, and that he does make the connection that it was because he had the stuff on him. Because if you remember, when he was in the water, he didn't have anything on him, and that infected person did back away from him. So I don't know if he's thinking, okay, I'm invincible for some reason. I don't know. I hope he's not thinking that, because clearly he isn't. Well, I'm assuming that he's not. But anywho, so they fight him off, they get back on the boat, they get on the inflatable boat, and Alex says, when they were pushing off into the water, we gotta make a pit stop. I was wondering, like, what pit stop? But then I realized that she still has Jake with her, and so they're towing their boat with Jake in it, and which was surprising because I didn't think that Jake would make it that far. So whatever she's doing is really working out for him. But I guess you have to wonder, because I'm assuming he's in excruciating pain, and if there's the possibility that he would get better. From the looks of him, it doesn't seem like it, but for some reason, she feels that she's got to take care of him. But anyway, so they get back on the boat, and of course, Strand is not having it. He is not having it at all, which we should not be surprised. Although I thought maybe, okay, maybe he'll, have a change of heart. And I guess they thought so too, but no. He's very consistent in that no one is getting on the boat. And he even made a statement to what is her name, Madison, that that people are the threat. So he's not letting anybody on the boat, and he was serious about it. And they were, they kind of went back and forth with him, and then finally it was decided that they would just allow their raft to be towed. And I kind of thought that Strand agreed to that, but later on you'll see where he cut the rope and they were left stranded. They did give him water and supplies and blankets and things like that, but they left him stranded. And I was, I'm thinking, okay, Strand, you're wrong for that. But, yeah, he was wrong for that, no matter how you rationalize it. But I kind of see where he's at right now. He's trying to get to a destination, and which I believe where someone he cares about. And so if somebody you care about is in a situation, you're going to do what you need to do to get there. So, that's, I think, how he's looking at it. But it was wrong. I still think it was wrong. It was wrong. How do you do that? It was wrong. But yeah, so, so that's where they are. Madison confronted Strand about that whole Mexico thing. And she was again telling him, which I don't appreciate it or like, that she's telling him what she's going to do, what they're going to do, where they're going to go with regard to Strand's boat, which, and of course he was, telling her, it's his boat, he can do what he wants to do. But and at some point they came to some kind of resolve to where they're going to watch each other's back. But Strand did make a good point when she's saying, this is my family and blah, blah, blah. And he says, yeah, you're right. That's your family. Strand has no connection on that boat. So, they need to look at it from his point of view. He's looking out for himself because there's not another person on that boat that's looking out for him. So, I guess if you want to look at it that way. And there's one thing that Strand said to Madison, and her reaction was what got me to thinking, because at some point she said, well, if you do anything to harm or even think about anything harming any of my family, I'm going to throw you off the boat. And he says, you're not a killer. And she just gave him this look. There's something in Madison's past that is dark, I'm going to just say, because she gave him a look as if to say, oh, you don't even know the half of it. So I'm thinking something is in her past that I'm pretty sure we're going to find out. That, because that wasn't just a look, that was a look. Like you don't even know the half of it. So everybody's got secrets. Everybody's got secrets, not just Strand. But anyway, like I said, overall, solid episode. I really, really enjoyed it. Can't wait to see what's coming up. And hopefully all this stuff will come together. I know we're going to see Alex again. It really doesn't make sense not to. Jake, I'm thinking probably not, more than likely. But Alex for sure. She seems like a true to life survivor. And I believe that she's going to either meet up with someone else that's going to help them, or eventually make it to land somehow and make her way, because she knows where they're going. They did disclose where they were going while she was standing there. So she may go on a revenge binge. Who knows? But I think they are going to meet up with her again. Oh, and also Strand was saying that in Baja that there's a fortified place for them to stay, walls, food, resources, self-sustainable. So now I believe, I know that that's where he's on his way to. But initially his plan was not to take them. I believe he truly was going to drop them off in San Diego, like he said, which is not a lie. But he was going to then go further on to Baja, which that is not wrong. He could do whatever he wants to. I mean, they're getting up in his face talking about, oh, well, why didn't you tell us about this? Well, it's not any of your business. Like he said, who is in my business? That's his business. He could have taken them wherever he wanted to take them or not take them, you know. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there because, of course, I'm in the fandom. I'm in the Strand fandom. So they need to leave Strand alone until he truly does something which that is unforgivable, which, you know, today he was kind of, this episode, he was kind of straddling that line, you know, but I can't see where he's coming from. And it's no different than any of those other folks. No different. So, good episode. Can't wait to see what's going to happen next. And Nick and Strand, those are my faves. Hope nothing happens to them. It looks like Strand is going to have some problems. I hope, you know, nothing happens to either of them. Any of the other ones, I don't have a problem with anything happening to them. So if you have not subscribed, please do. Give us a thumbs up. And until next time, bye.